If you get up and you just decide one morning that you're in a business meeting and someone is not playing their job or their role in the way that you see as appropriate, women will just take over because that's part of the way circles work. Of like, oh, I see so-and-so is not doing well today. I'm going to help her with her tasks. That goes very badly for men who are on teams. It doesn't matter how badly that man was failing. Taking over for him is actually seen not as helpful, not as kind, and not respectful. Hi, and welcome to Stacks Over Tax. I'm Sterling Grace, and this is Mark Lewis. So another super fun aspect of my life and my career working with mostly men is that I got to experience working on teams. And I say that with kind of a little laughter because most women in my life don't understand the difference between the way the masculine perceives being on a team and the way women experience working in a group or a circle. And there is literally a night and day difference. And if you don't know, you will end up having so many battles that you had no idea you could have avoided. So first, we have to talk about teams. Teams are amazing. Teams are totally set up to play to win. And they do that by assigning roles and positions and responsibilities and accountabilities. And so we're just going to use football because it's a super easy one to guess. So on a football team, there is a quarterback, there is a lineman, and just for this conversation, there's a water boy, right? Never in a million years would the water boy decide to play the quarterback's position just because something happened one afternoon. He just wouldn't go suit up and think today was his big day. That's just not at all how it works. He actually has a very important job on the team.
And in fact, if he thought that was a good idea and started doing it, he would be dishonored. Which is the worst possible thing a man on a team can be.
Yeah. And his job is super important. The water boy keeps everybody hydrated so that nobody ends up going to the hospital. It is actually a critical job on the team. So that's one of the other things I thought was really interesting. The more teams I worked on, how I thought there was hierarchy and that had to do with importance, but it doesn't necessarily have to do, they don't see it the same way about importance. Like they think each position they have created a position and that is important. And it has,
What makes the hierarchy then?
What makes the hierarchy? Well, I don't know. You should probably tell us what makes the hierarchy.
Oh, I know. But from your experience, what creates that?
The number of human beings that will follow you.
That's a very interesting take. I hadn't actually thought of that.
Yeah.
That's powerful. So leadership capability.
Yeah.
What if the hierarchy is not necessarily, like, let's say you get way down the hierarchy. There's not a lot of leadership there per se. What would create the hierarchy there?
I'm going to say the energy of commitment to your position.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So commitment, all in, maybe loyalty.
Yeah.
What I find is that hierarchy primarily comes out of skill. If I have, if on a football team, a wide receiver is, there's no way they're going to put him on the line. They're just going to waltz over him like he wasn't even there. So he's like, as much as I want to really get up and tough with these dudes, my skill set is I can catch the ball one-handed and get my foot in the corner of the end zone on my way down. So skill, ironically, and we won't be able to talk about this time, but because men don't communicate the way women do, we don't communicate verbally well at all, and we don't need to in order to create this hierarchy. We can, in moments, suss out what your skill set is simply by being around other men in moments, no words. And you're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. How can possibly that be? Well, part of our theory is that if you know what one gender does, then you know what the other one does. Just it's the exact opposite. And if women know what other women do, can do by talking about it, then men will know what other men do by not talking about it. And this makes a lot of sense anthropologically, because 40,000 years ago, we were all hunting, men were anyway. And if men were like, hey, the deer's over there, everybody starves. Or they're coming from this direction. Yeah, well, you just exposed us to those bad guys, and now we're all going to die. The less talking is death to you and your village. And I'm going to give you this example. I don't know if Sterling, I don't think you ever came to any of the little classes I had in Culver City. I don't think you ever came out to those back in the 2011, 2012, 2013. I used to do these little classes just for people in the community talking about men and women, and which I think is a super important conversation. We had Richard Hatch, the actor, may he rest well. He came all the way down and he's like, Mark, this apartment sucks, but whatever. And we got into this conversation about how men don't need verbal communication to find out if they're an honorable man. And the women there were like, this is crazy. This is the stupidest thing we ever heard. We don't believe you. And I had, probably 6 men there. And I said, well, let's try this. I said, let's have all the men. And they'd never been to this apartment before. And Richard was in there. Let's have all the men come in a group, stand up. Here's what I want you to do. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to find the spy in the house. And they're like, what spy? I'm like, you'll know. And I said, you're going to pick a leader and you're going to go throughout the house and you're going to bring the spy before us, but no talking of any kind. Any questions? And the women are like, what? And no man uttered a sound. I'm like, ready? Begin. It couldn't have been 5 seconds. They made Richard the leader, and Richard does all the thing, and the whole men fan out across my apartment. And it was about 90 seconds. And they find one of my big plastic trees and they bring it before and they throw it down and they're like, there it is. And the women are like, and I was just like, do you understand? And they're like, no. You guys rehearsed this. And why is that the spy? And how did you know Richard was the best one? And the men were like, well, it's obviously it was going to be him. And I'm like, how did you know that? And how did you, Richard, know to tell them what? You guys didn't say anything. Like, I can't explain the nature of how men communicate any more than you can explain intuition to me.
If you're loving what you're learning today, make sure you click the subscribe button below and ring the bell so that you get all the notifications when we release new videos. Yeah, and that's what's really important to know about teams is that, number one, if you get up and you just decide one morning that you're in a business meeting and someone is not playing their job or their role in the way that you see as appropriate, women will just take over, because that's part of the way circles work of like, oh, I see so-and-so is not doing well today. I'm going to help her with her tasks. And that goes very badly for men who are on teams. It doesn't matter how badly that man was failing. Taking over for him is actually seen not as helpful, not as kind, and not respectful. Yeah, the other men will have lots of objections about you taking over and being helpful, even if they don't say anything, because they don't necessarily say anything. They just will lose respect and credibility for you.
Yeah, if men say something, they'll be killed. But that doesn't mean they don't have a word for it, and that's called mothering.
Yeah, but it took a little while to figure this out, because women operate more in circles, and we're way more collaborative, and we're way more willing to look at someone and go, she thinks she's great at this and she's not, but I'm going to help her out, and I'm going to do some invisible labor, which is a lot of the things that we do. We do a lot of invisible labor where we don't talk about what we're doing. We just do it. And so we think we're going to get credit or something for it, right? Or at least workability, right? Even if it's that. But doing that on a team of men, wow, will really, really have it go sideways for you. And
it's a bad situation. It's a downward spiral on a team of co-ed teams, because men, you dive, you talk.
Right.
But if you do need help, You die if you talk. Well, I really could use some help. You die if you talk. But if a woman on your team comes over and goes, here, let me help you. Now you're mothering me. I don't like that either. So it becomes a downward spiral unless you arrest it with something else.
Yeah. The other thing to know about teams is this. So on teams of men, they have someone who is accountable for finances, for instance. And that person knows lots of information about finances. Maybe they have, credentials in that, or they just have real good high skill level in that. And so thereby, that is the man who speaks about finances. On teams of women will think, I'm on the team, I surely get a vote. So one of the things that's dramatically different about teams that men are on and sort of circles and groups that women operate in is when it comes down to making a hard decision. And I'm going to call it the veto, right? So when it comes down to, yes, we're doing this, or no, we're not doing this. In circles and groups, women will, because we don't operate with hierarchy, we think everybody had a vote, right? There was 10 women, there were 10 votes. This is not at all the way decision making happens in teams of men. And for instance, if you don't have responsibilities and accountabilities, there isn't a vote for you at all. It has nothing to do with whether you're loved and respected. It just has to do with workability. And so the folks who have accountability, knowledge, and skill, those are the people who are going to have the veto when it comes to that decision.
Yeah. Just imagine an NFL team where everybody on the team, when they went to a huddle, got a vote.
It just doesn't work, right? It's just about workability. So
it's the guy who's like, I understand all the plays. I've got the playbook. I know what we got to do. Do this. Yes, sir. We go. They clap and they're on their way. Not that that's better per se. It's just how men in teams work.
Right. And if you want to have a say, you really have to speak to the person who has the veto. And I'm going to say plead your case with them, right? Or at least get your ideas and conversations going with them. You don't need to enroll the other 48 players. You need to have a conversation with the person who has the veto.
Yeah, it becomes a feeling of, and men do this too, and when found out, it's not good. There is a way to play politics and say, I'm going to get so many people around the person with the responsibility of the veto power that to agree with me that they'll have no chance but to agree with me when I finally come to them. And what that is manipulating the field, which is a perfectly legitimate political move. Very, I'm just going to use the word feminine because it's attracting to you what it is you want through whatever means that this is perfectly legitimate means. Instead of the masculine mode, which is I'm going to go talk to that dude or that lady.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of times it's also more of a masculine quality to go and be very direct with someone than it is a feminine quality. So sometimes there's just hesitation for that. So you'll try to get agreement with your coworker or with a vendor even, right? To coerce the person with the veto into your way. Just doesn't usually go great. That's the honest truth. And even if your idea isn't heard and listened to, which it might not be, you at least won't lose face with the other 48 players for playing politics and trying to sway the man with the final say.
What about on a team, the feminine energy? I'm real familiar with how the masculine energy listens for problems. Like the masculine energy is consistently listening. What's the point of this? What's the problem? We're having a meeting. Well, there's got to be a point. There has to be a problem, and we have to fix it. What's the feminine way when we show up at a meeting? How does that work?
Yeah. Feminine will be way more concerned with the fact that everybody participated, right? So even when we have class, I struggle with this because we will teach our students, and our student who won't say anything, he's never on camera even, I'm constantly checking in with him because I'm worried that he doesn't yet feel confident to talk up in our group, or doesn't feel confident to ask questions, or maybe he's just not there yet. And I'm worried he's getting kind of behind. And so I'm way more centered around, did everybody feel warm and included and a part, right? Did they feel like they were part of the group? Did they feel valued? Did they feel seen? I'm not necessarily listening for what the problem is. I'm usually really not listening for what the fix is anymore. That's definitely a big shift that's happened in my life in the last year.
Well, in which case, again, from the masculine side, I don't know. It's all magic over there.
Right.
How do you get things done?
How do you get things done? You think I get nothing done. And
I know you do get things done, but in that kind of like, oh, is everybody participating? I'm like, how?
Well, one of the craziest parts about really being in your feminine is your ability to multitask is so much higher. And so the more you are in your feminine, the more spaciousness that you seem to have to be able to pay attention to multiple things happening at one time. So a great example is I now work from home. I love working from home. I can tell you all the time how my dog is doing in the next room. If he's okay, if he's having a little nap, does he need a snack? Does he have some water? Maybe he needs to go out, right? I can keep up with how my business partner is doing in the meeting, and is everything getting handled? And is this person going to come and do business with us, or are we going to refer them someone else? I am paying attention to, today I'm waiting on a delivery from the FedEx guy. So I'm constantly listening for, is somebody coming up the stairs? Is that why my dog is barking? Is it because somebody's coming up the stairs? Or is he just barking because he's bored? Sometimes he's bored. So what's interesting is that when I was way more in my masculine, I got one thing done an hour. And now I probably get three. They don't always seem like they go with the agenda of the day, but somehow it all seems to work out because I'm not necessarily in the same construct of it's 2:00 in the afternoon and this is the one thing we have to do. So yeah, I don't know exactly. I can't exactly tell you. I can just tell you that time and energy definitely expands for sure. And I get to the end of the day and the laundry's done and the dog is happy and Mark has got his projects handled and the FedEx guys arrived and I've done everything but cook dinner. That's just, I didn't want to cook dinner. So,
again, yeah, it's magic.
It's
like,
magic.
what?
Yeah.
How? I had it explained to me by one of our mentors, and see if this still applies to you. It's like you spin one plate and you put it on the little pole and it's spinning, and then you spin another one, but that one didn't get done. It's still spinning. And now you spin another one, and then here's another plate I put up here. I spin this one, and then you've got three spinning. And then you keep adding plates until you get out to about 7, 8, maybe 9 plates spinning. And then they're all spinning, and you touch that one and this one and this one and that one and then this one more. Keep them all spinning until eventually one gets done. Oh, that one's done, and it comes off. Now, when my mentor told me this, our actual mentor told me this, I was like, oh. And then you do that one, and then this one, and this one, and this one, until they're all done. And she goes, and I explained this to her. She laughed, and she goes, no. You fix this one, you put it away, and then you put a new one up. And now you're going to do this one. And then that one comes out, and a new one comes up. I'm like, wait, what? Does that still hold true, or is it wrong?
Completely holds true. Yeah.
Okay.
So getting ready for our class this morning, I had 10 things to do. One of them included taking someone really quickly in town. And you would think that the other 7 things weren't happening at the same time, but they were. So, yeah.
When you told me that, I'm taking him into town, I'm like, oh, well, there's an hour and a half gone. Uh-huh. She can't do anything else, because that's how it would be for me.
Right. But oddly enough, doing that, I was actually on time today, which is hysterical.
Hilarious.
Right? Hilarious, right? So, yeah, it is not necessarily a linear idea. So I don't know that I would spend a whole bunch of time on that, but yes.
It's magic to the masculine. And it's like, well, what? Okay. And you can see maybe how as a masculine partner in a business, if you, now you don't have to, but if you wanted the feminine partners in your business, even men who you wanted to get feminine results from, that if you flip them into a masculine role, be on time, finish this by now, you show up at your word, do all these things, you're not going to get that magic of, hey, there's 10 plates going here all at the same time. We're going to come back and there's still going to be 10 tomorrow morning. There's still 10 tomorrow after that. Oh, man. So, if you want, and we'll talk about this in another podcast, a single focused team, which is what, Alex Hermosi and everyone's like, focus and single and one thing at a time and do it. Great. But here's something to think about, and maybe we'll end with this. If you want an unfair competitive advantage in the marketplace, maybe you have to do out of the box things with your staff in their gifts to create unfair competitive results.
I think so, for sure. I think our emails are a perfect example of that. Mm-hmm. If you managed our emails, you would have a time of day that all the emails were done. That's when it would be.
I used to.
Yeah. It would be 9:15 and the emails would be done between 9:15 and 9:45 and that'd be it for the emails. Because I do our emails, our customers hear from us at 6 in the morning, 9 in the morning, 12 in the afternoon, 2 on a Saturday. Oh, you forgot your password and it's Sunday and I'm almost at the movie theater, but I have enough time to get you your password because I handle our emails and it's not burdensome. We sell a tremendous amount of clients and they end up on calls with us out of emails and just me emailing with them, sometimes even really simple things like, oh, I ran this the wrong way and somehow I charged this twice. Somehow somebody had a customer that did that, where they somehow managed to buy the products 3 times. And I'm like, oh, that's okay. Don't worry about it. I got it all fixed up for you. And here's the password and da-da-da-da. And then he was like, well, what else do you offer? Because he had a really great experience in customer service because I'm warm and friendly and approachable and we can talk about things. And I always tell people, whatever you don't understand, when you take a class, come back and let us know. So now he's on our list to be a one-on-one client, right? And that is a result out of the fact that I answer the emails, not you. Not you at one time a day of when it happens. And then they've got to wait, 12 hours and they feel disregarded because they think that nobody's listening to them.
Because I was going to the movie theater and no, I don't have time or focus to answer your email while I'm on the way.
Oh, you're getting to the movie theater and taking your girl and getting the popcorn and right. There's lots of results to be produced. None of them are emails. Right. So, it's perfectly good. And I can keep up with the box and go, oh, we have vendors that need things. We have clients that need things. We have this person who wants to do a sponsorship program with us. Like the email box is just a list of plates for me, but not stressful at all. Right. And so, it's,
it would drive me nuts.
That's right. So now I can't do the social media posts because people will be snarky and rude and I can't handle that. Like I'm not very good at snarky and rude. So I'm like,
and I love war. So yes, let's go. I love my haters.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm sure we will get some in the comments below. Oh. So I have no doubt. So yes. So if you would like to talk to Mark, the comments below. And if you'd like to talk to me, the email address. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Perfect. And if you loved everything you heard here today and want more, make sure you click the subscribe button below and ring that bell, hit our like button, and then check out the next video.